All right, we are several weeks late, but what's going on, y'all? My name is Joltage, and today, bringing you the week 5 LCUU action from LPL. Um, yeah, my grad school semester just finished up, so I'm gonna use that as the excuse as to why this is coming so late. But hey, better late than never, am I right? Anyway, um, today we're just gonna kind of hop right into the games. Our first game of this week was Albi versus Risi. Two really good players, obviously, and they brought some fairly interesting teams. Both rocking the pump, both rocking a fire type, both rocking an electric type. I know Albi's team in particular has a banded Bunnelby, so that's neat. Um, I don't remember much of this game, how it actually played out, because it was a couple weeks ago at this point. But yeah, we'll just hop right into it, shall we? All right, we got lead Chincho versus Pump. Obviously, not the greatest lead for Albi. Chincho's berry juice was revealed as well, but you can pretty easily go out into Salandit, who's going to take the Shadow Ball. Not the best, but okay. But it is forced out by the eject pack. Another reason why I don't like can eject pack Salandit, guys. There's no reason for that. No reason for that. We're not trapping with it. I don't think you lose that much by not being able to necessarily grab momentum with your Salandits. But with the Spadef drop, the Salandit was forced out by the eject pack, and Albi was forced to go to his own pump on Risi's pump. Risi doesn't want to stay in here on Albi's pump and is going to go out to her Growlithe. Growlithe, always a fairly safe switching into pump unless it's the 4 attack set rock slide, but even then that's offense. That's physically offensive. And Growlithe, as we know, runs Intimidate. But it's going to eat the Shadow Ball. Eats a crit, but still takes it fairly well. Sandshrew, good play on the Cho, but unfortunately, sort of good play in that, Sandshrew can kill this Cho, but does have to take a huge amount of damage from the Scald, and if it was Hydro Pump, it obviously would have dropped right there. But it is going to be able to take it out with the EQ. And Sandshrew is basically out of action at this point. Albi's Bunny's going to come in with the U-turn. Does not reveal the band. I don't know if the band ever gets revealed in this game, but is assumed Scarf at this point. Growlithe, Wild Charge on the Archon. Archon is able to live that really easily and now has access to its full-powered acrobatics. Which nothing really wants to switch into on Risi's side. Basically, it is now a Elekid versus Archon fight here. And Albi's got at least 2 forms of Prio, whereas and otherwise Archon comes in and gets a kill every time, basically. So, yeah, that worked out really well for Albi, as he's going to be able to acro. Risi, the rest of Risi's team being really slow outside of the Elekid definitely does not help this Archon matchup, I will tell you that much. Out comes Elekid. Albi makes a very aggressive Corpfish play on the Ice Punch. And is going to be able to threaten out the Elekid with the Aqua Jet as Risi goes to the Gunker. Who's going to fire off a Focus Blast. Barely going to not kill the Salandit, but Vacuum Wave is going to be able to pick it up next turn. If we were Juice, it wouldn't have happened. But Archon is going to be able to come back in, pick up another kill with the Acro, and Albi's just got more sacks, and I think we can all see how this game is going to play out from this point. Get a nice Volt Switch from Risi, so Gunker can come out, fire off a knockoff. That really isn't doing any damage to the pump. Mystical Fire is a crit, and the Spatak drop not looking great. Special attack drop on the Elekid from the pump. as Albi's again going to make the court fish into the ice punch. And Albi's really just in a really good spot. Doesn't have to play around with the potential that his court fish goes down, goes right for the aqua jet, his gunk comes in. Sludge Bomb is just going to be able to take out the pump with the help of the poison. But again, Archin's going to be able to come back in, and the vacuum wave is not going to be enough to put it into defeatist. Elekid comes out. Bunnelby gets crit by the Volt Switch, unfortunately for Albi, because I think it would have probably lived. And Pump lives the Acro, crazily enough, and is able to put the Archon into defeatist. Not that it really mattered at this point, as the Elekid's going to come in, Volt Switch, but it is low enough to where Corp Aqua Jet is going to be able to take it out, and it does, and Albi picked up the victory. So yeah, that was definitely interesting. Again, risi, we recently actually banned Archon like last week in real time, so for stuff that that you can see it do in this game, I think risi's team was not the greatest against it, given that you had your only real stop to it was a healthy Sandshrew and your Elekid. You had no prio. Other than that, you had a bunch of mons that just can't deal with it really. So Archon was able to put in a massive amount of work, combined with the pressure that Krogunk was able to put on her team, and Albi was able to pick up the dub. Gonna move on to game 2 now. I will see you in just a sec. Alright, and game 2 this week was actually my game against Juan. Last time I did a video, we saw me get absolutely clapped by Kip, and this was the team that I was actually going to bring to the Kip game, if that mattered. I'll switch sides just because. We've got standard, fairly standard sand, other than the inclusion of Sinistea. Sinistea is a Pokemon that I think is pretty good if you can find the right matchup. And by find the right matchup, I mean have there be no Stunky, basically. So I load into this game and I'm like, okay, T can maybe win me this game. Cottony is also kind of annoying to see, makes it harder to plot up. But T is an interesting Pokemon that I think can see more use. Other than that, it's pretty standard sand stuff. I think this time I'm EVO Hippo, which is not normal for me. But I wanted to try that out this time. Go with Shrew. This is a Cursed Laleep as well. I wanted to give that a shot, as it had been brought out to some success earlier in the tour. I wanted to try it out myself. Standard Rain Tyke, just a mon I really enjoy, and then Salandit as an Oddish answer, though Oddish has really kind of fallen off in terms of usage this tour overall. But I never like running sand that has trouble with Oddish, so that's what that was. Juan brought sand of his own, sort of, but trueless. Got Dig A, who is a big threat. It would understand that those sand force boosted hits will really fuck anyone up. Archon's also a big deal. I don't really have that fast a team outside of the Salandit. Nothing outspeeds. I do have an EVO Hippo, which makes dealing with it a lot easier, but Archon is definitely a threat here. He brought out a Skrelp, which is a bit of a Memon. Not really a super great matchup for Skrelp, particularly if it doesn't have T-Bolt, which I feel like you can generally drop in UU, but we see it out here this time. The rest of it, fairly standard stuff. But we'll just kind of hop into the game at this point. I think it was a fairly interesting game overall. He leads Archon as I lead Mantike. I was kind of leading Mantike, expecting like a Panda lead, but he has Arch in there, so I'm forced out. I go into Hippo as he goes out to his Skrelp. I opt to stay in. No, actually, I opt to go right for the leap as he, again, makes a really good play and busts out the Pancham on me. And I'm really on the back foot just from Jump Street here. I go out to Hippo rather than, like, Salandit to take the knock. I don't really agree with that play in hindsight. I would have rather gone Landit for the knock. I think the knock was fairly obvious. Otherwise, it would have been like a drain punch or something. And I could have, honestly, I could have sacked Landit there. It would have been good for Cottony, but other than that, it's not the greatest game for it. I could have sacked it to get off and knock myself, but instead I let my Hippo get knocked, and that's not great. Swords Dance, as I set up Stealth Rocks, I could have roared that turn, but instead I have to let my Hippo go, which is pretty tragic for me. Out comes Mantike. Thankfully, Juan goes for the drain rather than the knockoff. Knockoff would have killed on Mantike, and I would have just lost, basically. I also won an assumed speed tie here. Actually, no. The Air Slash did too little damage for it to be... not have HP. So this probably wasn't a speed tie overall. But goes out to the Skrelp, who takes a ton from the Air Slash, and me seeing that roll, I was like, oh cool, it's a 2-hit KO. No, it wasn't. I high rolled the first one and get the main roll on this one, the second, but luckily fate bails me and I get the flinch, and Mantike is able to pick up a kill. Mantike very threatening to Juan's team, particularly if I can get a Rain Dance up. We're looking really good. I go Sandshrew on the Rock Blast, which is a 4-hit. Not really doing too much, but that U-turn hurt quite a bit on my Sandshrews. I go right for the knockoff on the Cottony. Now I'm going to go out to my Salandit as he defogs. I don't like defog Cot, but, you know, it worked out here. So he's going to go out to his Hippo as I knock off. Fine play. I think I fire off... no, I go right to Mantike there as he sets up Stealth Rock. And I can set up the Rain here as he goes for the Toxic. And Tyke should be able to pick up some damage. I predict the Cottony coming in even and go for the Air Slash, taking that out. So we're in a really good spot at this point. Panda can live an Air Slash, as we've seen, and that's what we end up going for. I go for the Hydro Pump instead, just because it's stronger technically, and I thought there was maybe a chance of it, but because I dumbly didn't realize that this was... I still assumed that it was Fast Panda when obviously it had HP based on the damage that I did with the Air Slash, but Hydro does really good damage as I eat the knockoff. Already lost my juice, so that went fine. It's a really good play. Goes out to his Hippo on Hydro, taking away my Rain, and allowing both his Archon, either his Archon or his Diglett, to come in. Diglett is going to be the choice as we go. Down goes my Mantike. I've got Shrew, who lives Sucker at this point. No, or maybe doesn't live Sucker because I didn't go to it. I go Salandit instead, maybe bluffing a Scarf, and I get... it works out for me as one goes to his Archon, who I knock off, removing its Berry Juice and removing its ability to be out of defeatist range, which is really just lovely. Go to Sandshrew trying to do something, as unfortunately U-turns on me. I mean, U-turn was a very safe play for him. It was going to be slower no matter what. Here I just try and hope that he... I don't know what the Earthquake was actually. But one goes out to his Archon, dodging the Earthquake, and is able to take out my Shrew next turn. I go Laleep here because, again, it is Cursed Laleep, and I was like, oh, maybe I can just win the game. Archon's in defeatist. Panda's low. I think we're good. He goes for a knockoff, giving me a curse. And I thought with a second curse I'd be able to live the Panda. But unfortunately I don't. And so not attacking here was kind of a throw on my part, as the leap goes down for no reason. I now go out to T and click Raw Cyclic. Not a speed. I knew I outsped. Here I kind of throw my one chance at winning the game. At this point I'm on my back foot and I really have to rely on outplaying Sucker Punch from the Diglett. But T unfortunately doesn't kill Dig with Shadow Ball at neutral, so I had a nasty plot here rather than just kill the Archon, but I don't make that play. And you see, I try to maybe win the Sucker Punch my game anyway, but he doesn't even have to play it, as his Dig is going to take me out with the Earthquake and then take out my Salandit the next turn. So I think I messed that up for sure. Made some weird plays, kind of through the end, at least giving me a chance. It was low odds, but I should have at least been in a position to have that work for me. Messed up with the Leap, not killing the Panda when I could have. Yeah, just overall unfortunate the way that worked out. I like the team I brought, but it just wasn't to be, unfortunately, this time. But I will see you in Game 3. One sec. Alright, Game 3 of this week was a game between BBB and Camden. This game, the match between their teams had already been decided by the time they played this game, but they wanted to play it regardless. We see more Elekid usage, more Archon usage, who's been really high presence this week, especially. Not really a ton to say about the teams themselves. Pretty standard, generic stuff. We've got Cho on BBB's side instead of the Goldeen, Shrews on both sides, Archons on both sides. Double Electric is kind of cool, I will say that. But, yeah. I'm gonna sneeze! Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. I would have paused if I was quick enough, but I was not. Anyway. We'll just kind of hop right into the game. We got lead Pump Small versus the Goldeen. Pump Small doesn't outspeed Goldeen and will take a knock, basically, but you can also take out the Goldeen here, which can be very useful, seeing as you have two electric types. So I would stay in Click Bullet Seed or Giga Drain, neither of which will straight kill, but will go a long way in making it so your electrics can do some stuff later on. Cam instead just flip turns rather than going for the knock out to the Gunk, who takes the Giga Drain. BBB's also going to allow his Pump to take a Sludge Bomb to kill the Croagunk with the Psychic. Out comes Archon. He's going to click the U-turn on the incoming Sandshrew, and Goldeen is back in the game. Can fire off a free knockoff and does so, taking out the Pumpkaboo. So this Goldeen is definitely going to be a problem for BBB moving forward. Growlithe is able to get off a Wisp and is going to try to thief that turn, but the crit ensures that that's not going to happen. As this Goldeen is just a menace right now. Wins that speed tie to get the knockoff, and then Head Smash puts Archon into defeatist. We got Scarf Panda, which is interesting. He's going to give BBB a chance to go out to his Shrew, fire off a knockoff on the Oddish, whose Giga Drain is going to do an absolute load to the Elekid, and Psychic's not going to be able to quite take it out. Shrew is going to be able to take it out with the Rapid Spin, making it faster than Cam's Archon or his Panda, or probably not faster than the Panda, but goes Shrew instead. Seeing knockoffs, and Cho has to Click Hydro Pump, probably Scarf Cho. Misses the pump, unfortunately. And Cam wins the game. I wonder, actually. I mean, it was Scarf Panda, but it was Scarf Panda, but it was at full, so it probably doesn't drop to the Hydro Pump. But if you hit 3 Hydro Pumps in a row, I mean, if you hit that Hydro, obviously, this is obviously assuming Scarf Cho. You hit that Hydro, you can kill the Stru. Obviously, you kill Archon, and it comes down to Panda. You can probably kill that with a crit itself, so missing that Hydro definitely was unfortunate for BBB, and really took away his opportunity to win the game there. But the game didn't really matter for the overall series, so I guess it's fine. And I'll see you for Game 4. Actually, we'll just move right into Game 4 right quick, because the replay was unfortunately not saved. This was a game between Jox and Quinn, and the game didn't get saved. Quinn's team is this one down here, and Jox brought the team up here. I know he had a balloon Diglett. I didn't get to see this game live, so I couldn't even really walk you through it. But no, he had a balloon Diglett, as I was mentioned in the game. Team-wise, we had what would just be a straight Webs team, if Webs were allowed. That looks like a Webs team even. But we can assume Scarf, Bunnelby, that's Pump Small based on the model. Standard Elekid, probably SD Panda, Rocks, Diglett. Whereas over on Jox's side, he really brought 2 fossils in Leap and Archon, which is interesting. Standard. I assume this is a little Volt turn core with Tick and Goldeen and Archon, even potentially. Probably this could be defensive spirits. Who knows? But point is, Jox won the game, and that'll be week 5 action. So gonna record week 6 and 7 now. So I'll catch y'all later. But if you enjoyed, please feel free to hit the like, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.